Hi, I'm Howard Jonas, chairman of IDT, one of America's fastest-growing communications companies. Recently, AT&T went into the Internet business, or so they claim. AT&T offers unlimited Internet to its phone customers for $19.95 a month. Big deal! We offer unlimited Internet to our phone customers for $15.95 a month, and we charge up to 50% less for long distance. But it's not just a question of price. You see, what AT&T promises, IDT actually delivers. For example, AT&T takes weeks to ship your software. IDT ships immediately. AT&T doesn't service Macintosh. IDT does Macintosh and Windows too. Why? Unlike AT&T, we're a true Internet company. When you know what's true, you can make the right choice. So if you want Internet for $15.95 a month, call us at 800-245-8000. That's 800-245-8000. IDT, it's the way smart people communicate.
Have you been a bad boy? Let us discipline you. Just 99 cents per minute on your MasterCard or Visa. Enter the deep, dark recesses of the back room. Talk live with other slaves and masters in our dungeon of discipline. Do it now.
Speak for yourself. From 312-708 and 847, dial 591-8900. From the rest of the free world, dial 312-591-8900. WLS, Talk Radio 890 AM.
Don and Roman, the Breakfast Diner this morning at 5 a.m. Jay Marvin sailing into the heart of darkness at WLS, Talk Radio 890 AM, 591-8900. And it's open phones now. Anything you want to talk about, we're prepared to jump right in and go for it. So, just give us a call. Do I sound less than enthusiastic here, G? A little bit. I don't mean to be. I don't mean to be less than enthusiastic. I do not mean to be less than enthusiastic. Actually, since I know that they're looking for like a new boss at this place,
yeah,
I should probably get on and do the best job I possibly can every single night. Because you never know. That person may be in a hotel room listening right now.
Oh. Hint, hint.
Hint, hint what? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, hell, let's rumor monger. Dennis Rodman's game is scraping rock bottom. At least in the eyes of Seattle Supersonics coach George Karl. Karl today said Rodman is laughing at the NBA and laughing at basketball. He says Rodman taunted the Sonics bench, flopped all over the court. Karl calls Rodman's actions ludicrous. Rodman says it's Karl who's ludicrous because he used Frank Burkowski yesterday solely to try to get under Rodman's tattooed skin. Rodman dramatically reeled backwards as if he had been hit by a truck to draw the flagrant foul on Burkowski late in the first half. As it turned out, not only did Burkowski get the foul, but he got 2 technicals and an automatic ejection for talking trash to Jack Haley on the Bulls bench. Chicago ended up with 5 points from the sequence, and Karl said the momentum change was one of the keys to the game. Always got to be picking on Rodman,
Whiner.
Whiner, complainers. Seattle Supersonics. Is Seattle a city? Oh, that's right. Sub Pop. I forgot.
Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam. What else comes out of there? Sonic Youth?
Nirvana?
No, they're no longer around.
Well, they did.
What other Seattle bands?
It was kind of hot. The Seattle scene was kind of hot. Soundgarden.
I just said them.
Oh, you did. You said Sonic Youth.
Oh, that's right. Soundgarden. Who else? It'd be a great name for a punk band. Bob Dole's Other Arm. Don't you think? George, Park Forest. George, you're on WLS Open Phones.
Greetings from your Minister of Fuddruckers, Jay.
Hey, man, I haven't heard from you in a long time. Where you been?
I had to get a few things taken care of. Let's just say I had to re-screw my head back on.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're still amongst the living.
Yeah, I just did a few things to make it better. Got rid of, I'm no longer your Minister of Fuddruckers, so I got to give you that title back. Moved on to a new gig. It's gotten me a lot happier.
Well, what are you doing?
Am I allowed to say the company I work for?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I work for Best Buy.
All right, so you're the Minister of Best Buy.
Yeah, Minister of Best Buy. And
now that we know that you're working at Best Buy, now all we need to do is find out what the location is so that Grant and I can mob the CD section.
Cool. Let's come down to the store in Matson.
Boy, man, you are on.
Yeah.
All right, what else is happening?
Just a bunch of other things. It's like changing the job. Finally got myself about halfway through sentience with the illness. I just had a little time where my lungs have been almost out.
Wow.
A cold, but pretty much getting back to things.
Cool.
And just for the hell of it, during my times when I've been down, I was playing around the internet, and I found a couple cool sites you might be interested in.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay, one of them is a site which is called On Sale. And what it is an auction on the internet.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Where you can, like, they have a lot of products like computers and electronic stuff, and you can put a bid on it. And you can literally, as you're logged on, watch as your bid, you place it up there and watch it go down the list.
Wow,
and
that's pretty cool.
It was some pretty decent stuff. I put a bid up for some memory, and I got 16 meg Sims brand new for $180 a piece.
And what's the URL for that?
It's www.onsale.com.
Okay. What else?
There's one which is called The Riddler. Basically, it's like a game show on the internet where you log in and you can answer a lot of trivia questions. And you get a currency they have there which are called Riddlets. And when you play the games and you complete the game successfully, you get prize caps, which are the currency you can use to purchase prizes.
Man, you know, the internet is just full of so many really neat things.
Mm-hmm.
Or what's the URL on that?
That is www.riddler, RIDDLER.com.
Okay.
And the last one I found for a lot of the software junkies out is a place that's this one guy set up called the Slaughterhouse.
Oh, I've seen that.
And usually about once a week, I go by there to see the newest things that come out. And a lot of them are like trial versions or shareware versions of software.
Yeah. There's another one that's an equivalent to that. Have you ever seen CNET?
Yeah, I get the Digital Dispatch.
Yeah. That's another. I've downloaded a lot of stuff off there. Oh, what a file leech I am. You know, I'm starting to get this. This is crazy about me. I get this way about the internet. I get nuts about it. I have one of these online providers that's like $25.95 for as many hours as you want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you stay on all day, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm starting to get a yen. This is the weirdest thing. I know this is wrong, but I'm starting to get a yen to try Prodigy.
It's not all that bad.
Well, I mean, they're retooling it, I guess, and I'm starting to get... Is there anybody out there who's a member of Prodigy? I'm getting a yen to try Prodigy just to see what it's like. See if it's any better. I mean, Prodigy was the first system I ever tried.
Yeah, AOL. I was on AOL for the longest time, and then after a while, they started to really blow, so I dropped those guys. And then I had I tried Netcom. Oh, boy.
No, I liked Netcom. Netcom was okay.
Yeah, they were okay, but then in like the last month, it's like their servers started getting real goofy and...
Well, you know what the problem with Netcom is? The problem with Netcom is that, that's right, their server does get goofy. And then the other thing is technical support. When I had Netcom, technical support was next to nothing.
Well, actually, I did get technical support 3 weeks later where something with their connection and using their software kept giving me GPS every time I clicked on the start button. So I called them and told them all the stuff. They basically sent me a message back saying, well, you have a problem with your computer. It's your fault. And I look at that and I'm like, why does it only happen when I run your software?
Who are you with now?
InterAccess.
Oh, that's local here.
Yeah, for where I'm down here, they have an A-band connection in Tinley Park that's ISDN ready. So if I ever do that and get a divorce factor of 9, getting an ISDN modem, hey, I'm on the site.
Well, I'm using, I still use the Well, but I'm still a member of the Well, but I shuffle all my mail through there, but my real, and I have membership to it, but my real provider is Earthlink. And it works pretty good. And they got 24-hour technical service. I mean, you call them up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning our time, man, there's somebody sitting out there in L.A. who picks the phone up and will help you out. But still, you get that urge, you know, you get that urge for, you know, I hate to say this, but it's really true. You know who had the best forums, the best discussion forums? The Well has some of the best discussion forums, but the problem is that the Well doesn't have the membership that this organization had. You know who has the best discussion forums? That is not the Usenet? Is CompuServe.
Oh, yeah, CompuServe's got a good backbone in it.
And sometimes I feel drawn to go back to them, even though I know it'll cost me more money.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing with every time we talked about CompuServe, we always put the S in CompuServe. I always used to write it as a $sign.
Because it costs, and also the censorship attitude there is pretty, uncool.
Yeah. Well, they're starting to get...
But they have the most European members, and that's what I'm always searching for, is the way to talk to people in England, Germany, and France.
That's the best.
And Italy.
Oh, real quick before I get dropped, that for those who don't have the address to the slaughterhouse, it's www.magpage.com/tilde C. Wagner, CWAGNER.
All right, man.
It's some pretty decent stuff. I pulled down a lot of interesting things. One thing, like a lot of things, like to set up TCP/IP stack, so I have a direct connection now instead of using a lot of the software. Set up. Like,
how did you get so technically proficient? When you first started calling me, man, you didn't even know what a modem was.
I just did. It's like it's like for a while, once I learn something, or something interests me, I start to learn it. And just then it's like picking stuff up on the internet, picking up a lot of stuff here and there, and it's like, I'll still admit, I don't know everything.
No, but you sound, you're beginning to sound like a techno geek.
Well, like I said, in the last 6 months, I just got my head screwed.
Well, send me some email and tell me what's been going on with you.
Oh, I'll tell you. Oh, man, I just blanked. That blows. Oh, well, I'll send it to you in the mail.
Yeah, just send it to me. Okay?
Okie doke.
All right, man, good to talk to you.
Yeah.
See ya. All right. See, I'm nuts for that. I'm nuts to try to want to get pay more money, aren't I, Grant? I'm crazy about that, but I hate the Usenet. I'm really getting irritated with it because there's so many like really strange people. I can't handle it. Except to get on the Cuban thing and fight with the Guzano exiles in Miami.
So you don't play as much as you used to?
Oh no, I'm on there all the time writing mail, and there's a Chicago media section. I'm on that every once in a while, and I'm also on the broadcast media thing. But I really, the best one I ever had with the forums and all that stuff was CompuServe. They were really great. Trouble with CompuServe is their web browser was no good, and then but they had great forums. Now I'm kind of wondering what Prodigy's like.
Now
Prodigy used to be bad. It used to be slow.
But
I don't know.
Has it gotten, well, they have to.
I don't know. Has it gotten any better?
I don't know.
Sonic Youth is from New York, by the way.
Well, I didn't say that. You did.
Well, okay. So what the hell do I know? Sal on a car phone. You're on WLS.
Hey, Jay.
Salvatore, what's up?
How you doing? Listen, I want to tell you about a story. Right when you mentioned that thing about censor with CompuServe, I mean, they're all pretty much like that. And I put probably about 200-something people online for my network, for what I do for my business.
Right.
Just to get them onto another one other than CompuServe.
Right.
And a friend of mine had emailed, we've got this big thing coming up over the weekend, so he had emailed me a picture of Pamela Lee in a relatively compromising position.
Right. Yeah, right.
All right, so, and then he sends me another picture of a guy in a compromising position. So this is just a personal email thing, you know?
Right.
So I got another friend in the network that I figure he'll get a kick out of this, so then I go ahead and forward it to him. Well, his address was a certain address, and I forgot to put the number. He's got his name and a number after his address. So I left the number off, and obviously somebody had...
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I get an email message back saying that I didn't particularly think that was that funny, and I'm reporting you for a violation of your terms of service agreement. So they take me off, rip me offline. I called her screaming and yelling at them. I said, look, this is a personal thing. Take a look in your records. You're going to see that address that it went to was missing two numbers. First of all, why do you people allow names to be so close to each other?
Who's your online provider?
Well, this was just This was AOL. All right.
Okay, yeah, because let me tell you, they kick a lot of people off.
Oh, yeah.
To drop a hat for that.
I proposed this question to the individual at the other end. I said, so I can go pull off some drunk with a credit card down the block, come back online, and you people will never know it. I said, I've put over 200 people online with you people. I said, can't you put me in charge of, put me to somebody in charge other than yourself that I can explain? I even emailed the person who got the pictures saying, look, understand the business we're in. This is a joke. We're in the music business. This was a joke for somebody. It was not intended for you. Take a look in your member directory. You'll see that individual had the same exact name as you, other than the fact that I left two numbers off.
But you know what I don't understand, man? Why, if they bounced you, why don't you just go to somebody else?
Well, because to be real honest with you, Jay, I learned on AOL, and I keep AOL just because it's an easy. Do you realize how many radio stations that I've talked to just to get them online? They want the AOL just to get online because there's so many radio stations in this country. They don't even have email addresses, either the MDs, the PDs, or the sales reps. And for what I do, I need to keep everybody in touch with each other.
Yeah.
So
I know that's. I understand that, but still, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you, and I don't know this for a fact, but I just know it because I got a friend that maintains a large mail list and runs it for his business.
Well, I've got almost 2,250.
Well, I'll tell you something. You know what? CompuServe's mail handling is a lot better than AOL's.
Yeah, that I understand, but I just kept AOL just for little particular things because I mean our own website is pretty much where everything goes through. But this had come, this was just something that came through my email address over AOL.
Well, did you get yourself reinstated?
Well, I got under another name. So now this guy's telling me, that you violated terms of service. That you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. I said, well, people aren't allowed to smoke dope either, and it's still done. Give me a break here. Who are you kidding?
No.
So I get back on. Oh, everything's fine again. So now I got a different email address. Our web, everything's fine with my web server's here in Chicago for our company is here, and it was just a nightmare to think that, my God, you try and reason with somebody, and they wouldn't even bother to listen. It was like,
no, you know why, don't you, though? The reason they're like that is because they're under a constant attack. They're under constant attack from outside because they have, look, AOL does something which is not, I don't think it's too cool, but I guess a lot of people like it. And that is, if you have a membership on it, you can have up to 6 different screen names. And you got people they got people out there, and they kick a lot of people off, man, for doing, crazy stuff. Whereas, for instance, you get on the Well, or you get on CompuServe, or you get on, these others, you get one name and that's it. I'll tell you what's starting to happen to me, which is really weird, is I'm starting to get, like, a mail that are addressed to me, and it's like, it's obviously the wrong message. I mean, it's like they misaddressed the mail or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I get these topics, and I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, we get a lot of that, too. But that's exactly what wound up happening to this individual who got these pictures of Pamela Lee. She got something that had nothing to do with her. It wasn't even because within the text I typed, hi, such and such, that you might get a kick out of this, download it. I got it from a friend of mine. So this person who was reading it, who gets these pictures, has got to figure out, well, this wasn't intended for me. You'd think they would have had at least say, hey, you emailed this to the wrong person. I didn't.
Yeah. You know what? Going to AOL over a one-time thing is going to the terms of service part of AOL over a one-time thing is really kind of touchy. Yeah. That's really kind of stupid, and you usually can settle it. I mean, I get people that send me hate mail, and I'll tell them, like, okay, fine, it's not very clever, and it's not very good, and don't do it again, or else. And then I'll start going to the postmaster, or I'll go to AOL. I'll turn them into AOL. And but I let them get away with it at least 2 or 3 times before I even do it. I can't imagine turning somebody in after one time and being a mistake.
I mean, I emailed that person. I mean, I tried to, I just said, look, I told AOL, have them call me. I said, I'm not one of these wackos or freaks out there, sending dirty pictures to little kids. This was a joke. I said, take a look at how many people we've given you in our network. I mean, my God, we've got over 200 people we sent you people, and you still, they wouldn't give me the time of day, man.
Cyberspace is weird. Sal, take care, man.
Take care, Jim.
All right.
Goodbye.
Catherine, Hyde Park, you're on WLS.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's up?
I'm a frustrated talk radio listener.
Why?
And
what are you frustrated about?
Well, I've worked in talk radio, not in this market. In
Where?
Washington, D.C.
What station?
WWRC.
Oh, what a terrible station that is. God.
It is now. Back in the 80s, it wasn't.
Oh, you worked there in the 80s?
Yes, sir.
Boy, that thing. I know I know 2 people who used to work there, and it's like, that thing is like really, really screwed up. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a short, not to take it away from you, but I'll tell you a short story.
Go ahead.
Just talking about cyberspace. I once made a comment on the broadcast using that thing about Oliver North, that he wouldn't get any numbers. He wouldn't get nobody would listen to him.
Right.
And the program director of that station writes this big attack thing to me, and he sends it to me in email, like he's going to affect my career and all of this kind of stuff. And I write him this thing back saying, you know what? Knowing the history of that station, you won't last long enough to affect anything in my career. And by the way, if I have to go work at a 250-watt radio station in the desert in a trailer I would do that before I would work for you, and this whole thing, right? Okay. 1 month goes by, and I read it in the trades. This guy gets fired. And I haven't heard from him since. But why are you frustrated? Because you can't get a job or what?
No. I have no desire to be back in radio given the current
Why?
nature of the business.
Well, the business has always been crummy, but why? Why don't you want to get into it?
Well, one is that I've taken my interest into other forms, into other mediums of doing a lot of writing. And because I do a lot of writing and I have my own business, I'm up a lot at night. After you go off, Jay, there's nothing to listen to. I mean, there is nothing in the market to listen to.
Well, it's true in most markets, I think, because they don't think there's anybody around at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, you know, I think one of your competitive stations here in this market has proven that there are as many people listening at 2 o'clock in the morning as there are at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the numbers will kind of back that up.
Well, who is that?
It was GN.
Well,
They
that's
have as many people
that's debatable.
in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but you know what? That's debatable. And you know what that's debatable by? First of all, it's debatable by the fact that the universe is small of people who would listen to the radio. There are not as many as there are during the day. And number two, they do have a significant listenership, but they only have it in a certain category. And you know what category that is? Old people.
People who are dying off, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not making it in any other way. And management would argue with you that the reason they don't have anything here after 2 is because they get a decent amount of listeners to rush, and they don't have to pay to put anybody in there.
I understand that, and that's the other part. One of the reasons that I don't like to. This is the second city actually. It's the third city. All the syndicated programs. Have a real hard time with it. There's no choice. I can either listen to a lot of right-wing propaganda on your station and another station off the dial, or I can listen to news, or I can turn on NPR, but NPR stops at 8 o'clock at night.
NPR's so damn sleepy.
You know,
all things considered. It's like, come on, man. It's like, hey. Jack it up a little bit, okay?
Yeah, understand that. I'm very, very frustrated, and I wonder, if these PDs listen to their stations or listen to their competitors.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of that. I think it's a matter of economics, and I think it's a matter of talent pool, and I think it's a matter of what people think works and what doesn't work, and
nobody has any imagination. I mean, I can go to Boston, Washington, New York.
Well, we're all basically doing
and hear talk radio that has some variety to it, that has some charm, that has some wit to it, and something seems to happen after you get into the Midwest, and even on the West Coast, it's all the same. And I just don't think that PDs have any imagination. They're willing to take a risk. Talk is a pretty cheap form of entertainment.
Yeah, but it's not cheap to run, and it's hard to get good people, and it's, I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you, look, you know what, all I'm doing is I'm just telling you what I know. Here's what I know, okay? Here's what I know. First of all, it's hard to get good people because people who are good already have jobs and they don't want to leave and they don't want to move. 2, the conventional wisdom in this format has been for a lot of years that if it's right wing, it works, and if it's left wing, it does not. There are not many left-wing people on the air in this country. I'm one of the few. And I can't get, I'm stuck in this slot. The business is changing. And there's always been syndication. There's always been that. Yeah. And it kind of grows, and then it kind of lags back again, and then it kind of grows, and then it kind of lags back again. I believe that good local programming will beat syndicated programming any day of the week.
I do too.
But if you want to put on good local programming, you got to pay for that, and a lot of people don't want to pay to have that done.
Yes, but there's a pool of talent of people who are in other industries who could be very good.
Yeah, they don't make good talk show hosts, though, a lot of them. Hold on a second. I'll debate this with you further, because you know what? I got some great examples of some people I've worked with. Hang on. 1251 WLS, dependable weather, traffic. Here's G-Man.
Cloudy and cooler with the 40% chance of showers today. Highs in the low to mid-60s. For tonight, partly cloudy, low in the lower 50s. Saturday, partly sunny, high around 70, but cooler by the lake. It's 55 at O'Hare, 63 Midway, 66 in DuPage, 53 along the lake. And the humidity is 100%. The expressways and the tollways are quiet this morning. Part of that has to do with the Kennedy roadwork at Madison. Kind of wimpy this morning, just a right lane block both ways and no full lane stops, but that means traffic will get through there fine. And that roadwork will go till 5 a.m. The express lanes on the Kennedy are also closed until 5 a.m. They'll be reopened inbound. And northbound on I-65, this is about a mile before the Remington exit, which is south of Rensselaer. The exit of US 24, an overturned semi there. The road not blocked, however, they will be uprighting it, and they will have to close northbound I-65 there about a mile.
Except this.
Before the Remington exit. Our next look at dependable traffic and weather after the top of the hour news. WLS Talk Radio 890 AM.
Wow, what a whirlwind weekend. Join us for a fantastic Friday morning in the Breakfast Diner. Don Wade and Roma.
Move over, Kathy Lee Gifford Sweatshop. Here comes Michael Jordan's Nike abuse of 11-year-olds. Will it stick? Airlines now offer coffee, tea, and handcuffs. And imagine Ross Perot as a romantic suitor.
Set your little clock radio for your favorite friends to wake up with. Whoops, that was a preposition. Don Wade and Roma, WLS Talk Radio 890 AM.
It's life support for Chicago radio.
WLS.
Speak for yourself. WLS Talk Radio 890 AM.
1253 WLS Talk Radio 890 AM. Jay Marvin banging the electronic gong one more time. Don and Roma, the Breakfast Diner this morning at 5 a.m. Back to Catherine and Hyde Park. It's open phones at 591-8900. We're talking about talk radio here. People in other industries don't make... Wait a minute, hold a second. People in other industries don't make good talk show hosts. That's not true. Some of them do, some of them don't. I've worked with a lot of people who it appears that they'll make good talk show hosts. They get on, they can't handle it. A lot of them can't. A lot of them can't do opinionated talk.
No, I would agree with that.
They fold.
And some can, and it's while you had me on hold, my significant other pointed out that I should have been more honest. I did try to get a job in this market on Sport Talk.
Where MVP or the Score?
Both.
And what happened?
Not interested in having a female voice.
Well, you know what? First of all, part of that is that the sports talk in this market is really, I mean, MVP's gone now.
Yeah.
And the Score hangs on. They've had the same people there all the time, and they're doing well. And I don't know what MAQ's up to. I guess they're going to stay all news and have sports at night.
Right.
Being a woman and trying to, you know what? I only know of one woman who's made it in sports, and I used to work with her. I mean, she and I worked together, and her name is Nancy Donnellan, the fabulous sports babe. Right. We worked together in Florida, but Nancy's not your average woman.
No.
I mean, Nancy is like an acerbic. Nancy's like, I love her. I love her to death. She's like one of the most best people in the world. But she's one of the few. And it's very, very tough to do that. Plus, the other thing is, it's going to be tough for people like yourself to get sports talk shots as long as operations directors and PDs have this thing about, well, we'll throw somebody on because they have a name.
Right.
And they don't have to be good.
Right. And, you know, the attitude at the Score is that, well, we've had the same lineup for 5 years.
Well, they are. They're successful with it.
And, well, if you call 20, 21, 22, 23...
Yeah, but they're a daytimer. And you know what? You know what success is? Success is that they do pretty well, and they're a daytimer, and they have sales, and, you know, they make it. I mean, they're never going to... In their present position without a full-time signal, they're never going to get into the top 10. It's tough for an AM alone to get into the top 10 or even the top 15 in this market.
Yeah.
Why don't you spread out, and why don't you get into general talk? Why don't you get into political general talk? You seem smart enough.
Well, I have a PhD in poli-sci.
Well, can you argue? I mean, you know.
Of course I can.
Well, then why don't you try it?
Of course I can.
Why don't you try it? I mean, we don't have a operations director here now. We've got a program director, but I mean, why don't you wait till we get an operations director, and why don't you come down here and apply for a job? I mean, what's holding you back?
Yeah, it's. I really don't have any desire to do it anymore. My business is going okay, and I'm really enjoying the solitude.
Well, what do you do for a business?
I'm in public relations. I do political strategies and financial strategies. Yeah.
Come on, you can take my place.
You do just fine. I think did you used to be on like WFLA?
Yeah.
Okay, because my parents lived in Clearwater Beach for 10 years.
I lived in Clearwater.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to be at FLA. I was at FLA for, 2 or 3 years. It's one of the best places I ever worked.
Like in the mid-'80s, mid to late 80s?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't listen to you very often, and it's not that I listen to somebody else. I don't. I'm either involved in something or I'm in a special event. And by the time I come home, the last thing I want is like to listen to other people talk. But when I do, I enjoy you very much.
Well, thanks.
You know, I don't always agree with you.
Well, you shouldn't.
You're a little too conservative for me.
I'm too conservative for you?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Whatever.
I don't think so. If I'm too conservative for you,
nothing personal.
You better be off the political sphere. I mean, what do you consider yourself to be politically?
If I had to define myself, I don't like the term progressive. And liberal is, what is it? Phil Oakes defines liberal as 10 degrees to the left of center in good times and 10 degrees to the right of center.
Liberal's too conservative for me.
Liberal is too conservative for me. Mario Cuomo would have been a great president for me.
Nope, he's too conservative for me.
Okay. Well, I suspect that we could have some interesting conversations, and I've heard a lot of interesting conversations on your program that I do not hear on other programs, and for that I appreciate it.
Well, thanks. I hope you.
You've only hung up on me twice, so.
I've only hung up on you twice. I don't think I've ever hung up on you, have I?
Oh, yes, you have. Yeah, but that's okay.
Have I?
Yeah, you have, but that's okay.
Oh, damn it! Why'd I do that? Whoops.
3 times.
How? See, everybody always calls up and goes, "Oh, we really like your show. You're so great, and you're good, and you have like all these great discussions." Yeah, right. Everybody says that, but the people who run this place. True. True, Tony. Tony just grins. Oh man, Lord, oh Lord. Thank God that I was just thinking about this. Thank God that I hope Capital Radio does not call here again. I do not want to talk to anybody with a British accent.
Oh, they don't care about us anymore. She's gone.
Yeah, now they don't care. Let's call them. Yeah, I want to be on your morning news
every
show.
Night.
Yeah, I want to be on your morning news show. Let me on. Well, we don't
American commentary.
Yeah, Martin Young. Well, they don't really have any need for you. Well, what do you mean? What am I, your whore? You like me when she was here?